Hello people, how are you? Welcome to this week's grammar lesson. And as I told you last week, this lesson is all about the simple present. But this lesson will be split in two. Well, the verb to be is used all the time in English. It is the most used verb in the English language, and we can use it to talk about many different things: names, ages, nationalities, feelings, jobs. So I can introduce myself using the verb to be only. So, for example, I am Janaína. I'm 24 years old. I'm Brazilian. I am an English teacher. I am happy today. So yeah, we can use the verb to be to talk about all of those things about ourselves and other people. But the verb to be is an irregular verb. It means that the rule for it is different to the other verbs in the simple present. So that's why we are starting with it. The verb to be has three different forms in the simple present. The forms are am, is, and are. Okay, so these are the three different forms the verb to be appears in the simple present. How do I know which form of the verb to be to use? Well, first of all, we have to remember our pronouns. If you don't know what I'm talking about, last week's grammar lesson was all about parts of speech. It is important for you to watch that before this class because many of the words I'm gonna use I explained there. So pronouns, verbs, nouns and things like that are things we covered in our last lesson. So let's take a look at the pronouns and what form of the verb to be goes with it. Let's start with the pronoun I, because I is the only pronoun that goes with am. So whenever I am talking about myself with this one pronoun, I use the verb to be am. So, I am Janaína. I am 24 years old. I am happy. I am Brazilian. Now let's get into the pronoun you. You is different. The pronoun you can be singular and plural at the same time. It has no difference. You are. You are a student. You are happy. You are a human. Now that we covered both of the different ones, let's talk about our singular pronouns. He, she, and it. He, she, and it are singular. So if I'm talking about one man, he is. If I'm talking about one woman, she is. If I'm talking about an object or an animal, one object, one animal, it is. So these three pronouns are paired with the verb to be form is. He is, she is, it is. And when we have a singular noun as the subject, we also use is. So for example, Janaína is. My dog is. That book is. So then we have our plural nouns, we and they. Both of these nouns go with the verb to be are, just like you, okay? So if I'm saying we are friends, we are sisters, we are a family, we are family. And they goes with the same. They are my friends. They are siblings. And of course, if our subject is a noun but it's plural, we also use the verb to be form are. So John and Mary are siblings. Another important thing about the verb to be is its contractions. Contractions are when we join two words and it becomes smaller. The verb to be has some contractions. For example, you are can become your. You are happy, you're happy. Okay, so this is one contraction. He is, he's. She is, she's. It is, it's. They are, they're. We are, we're. So all of these contractions are correct. Oh, and I forgot. I am, I'm. Okay, so now that we are familiar with the positive form of the verb to be, we still have to see the negative form and the questions. And we're gonna see it all in this class. Okay, so when we want to talk about those things that I told you before, like our names, our ages, our nationalities, in the negative, we have to put not after our verb to be. So, for example, I am an English teacher. I am not an engineer. Or, I'm not an engineer. So, after you learn the first form of the verb to be, it is simple to learn the negative form. It is very important to understand that you have to put the word not right after our verb. So it is subject, verb, not, and the rest of the sentence. I am 24 years old. I am not 30. You are a student. You aren't the teacher. She's my friend. She isn't my enemy. So that's how we construct the forms. Some contractions that we use are not become aren't, and is not becomes isn't. So for example, if I want to use a sentence in the negative using is, I can say she is not my friend, she's not my friend, or she isn't my friend. All of these are correct. If I want to have a sentence with are not, I can say we are not happy. We're not happy. We aren't happy. All of these are correct as well. But am and not don't contract. So the only possible contraction with am is I'm not. And to finish our verb to be lesson, we have questions. How do we form questions with the verb to be? You probably remember that when we are forming a sentence with the verb to be, we start with the subject, and then we have the verb to be, and then the rest of the sentence. When we have a negative sentence, we start with the subject, verb to be, not, and the rest of the sentence. However, when we have questions in the verb to be, we start with the verb to be. Yes, so we don't start with our usual subject. We begin the sentence with the verb to be, and then comes the subject. For example, are you Canadian? This is a question. If I said you are Canadian, that would be a statement. But when I start with the verb to be, I am asking you the question. Are you a student? Is she your friend? Are they together? On our printable material here, you have exercises and the corrections of the exercises. So do that as homework. And if you have any questions about it, you can become my Patreon and ask these questions. I hope you guys liked the subject. Next week, we are going to see other verbs in the simple present. If you don't want to miss any lesson, don't forget to follow me here. Have a good day, have a good week, and I will see you later. Bye bye!